Hi everybody, I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, April 22nd. On today's show, we learn how you can help supply the children of Lee County with much-needed school supplies. We'll also drive the brand new Chevy Volt, the electric car proudly owned by Vice President Steve Meneer. But first, it's a busy Tuesday, and it's also Election Day. Actually, it's the first of 3 election dates happening in 2014. This is a special election to replace the Republican Congressman Trey Radel. If you're a full-time Lee County resident, meaning you spend more than half the year in Florida, and if you're a Republican, and if you haven't already voted early or by mail, then today is your day to vote in the special election. The polls are open today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the village church. Now, keep in mind that parking is very limited at the church, so please utilize the Shell Point trams and buses, and we'll have more special buses running for Election Day. Once again, polls are open at 7 a.m., but don't everybody come first thing in the morning, or else you'll be waiting in line. So, you can vote all day until the polls close at 7 p.m. Now, let's talk about today's other highlights. Flower arranging expert Sylvia Bird will demonstrate how to create one of 4 beautiful spring bouquets. You just bring yourself, and we'll supply the vase along with a wide variety of flowers. Sign up for the Spring Bouquet Workshop, happening this morning at 10:30 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. This afternoon, we've got an important health-related event for everyone who suffers from breathing disorders like COPD. Their support group welcomes special guest Jeff Pennick from Shell Point's rehab department, who will share some helpful tips on getting around with oxygen canisters and similar aids. All are welcome to the COPD support group with special guest Jeff Pennick, happening at 1:30 p.m. in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. And then literary fans will want to attend Library Book Talk this afternoon at 2:15 in the Social Center. This month's book is Lawrence in Arabia by Scott Anderson, which details the role of T.E. Lawrence in the Middle East in the First World War. Dick Allen of Harbor Court is our presenter, and refreshments will be served. So, come one, come all to Library Book Talk today at 2:15 in the Social Center on the island. So, now is the time of year when students will be throwing off their backpacks and saying, no more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks. But before you know it, they'll be back for another year in August. And many less fortunate kids will not be equipped to start the school year. They need paper, pencils, rulers, erasers, and many more supplies that schools no longer provide. That's why Shell Point residents began their own school supply fund drive, which runs through April 30th. We talked to the organizers of the drive to learn more about it.
Hi Shell Point, and welcome to the Volunteer Corner. I'm Melody Desilets here with 2 very special guests. I have my very own son Bradley Morrison Desilets and Dorothy Erickson from Nautilus. We're here today to talk about the School Supply Fund Drive, and it's coming up soon, and we want you to be a part of it. Dorothy, can you tell me a little bit about the School Supply Fund Drive and what its purpose is?
Okay, each year the schools locally give lists to the children of supplies that their parents are supposed to furnish for each school year. And it's quite overwhelming if you look through these lists. It can run $40 to $60 for one child. And so a few years back, some Shell Point residents decided this is a way we could help our employees. And so we collect money and then buy supplies for the children and grandchildren of Shell Point employees.
What a wonderful gesture. Now, in years past, what has our goal been for bags?
Well, it's gradually increased every year as people learn more about it and as people decide this is a way that I can do something for our employees. Last year we filled 600 bags of supplies, and we're hoping this year to do 650.
What an excellent goal. Now, Dorothy, what is in those bags that you're handing out?
Okay, we fill bags for children that are in kindergarten through grade 5. And so it includes things like crayons, pencils, scissors, notebooks, paste, glue, anything that you think they might need in school, or the teachers think they might need.
Now, Dorothy, we're not asking residents to actually put supplies in bags and donate those. We're looking for funding for this excellent program.
That's correct, because we get a good price from the office supply place, and that way every child gets the same thing.
Perfect. Now, how would they go about funding this?
People can make donations. You turn in cash or check at either service desk. If you turn in by check, you can get a tax-deductible receipt for it. We're not able to do that with cash donations. And those will be sent out a few days after we receive the money.
Now, when are we planning to distribute to the employee children?
Okay, we collect the funds now, but we give out the supplies in the middle of July, soon before school starts.
Excellent. So when is our fund drive starting and ending?
Okay, this year the fund drive will go from April 15th through April 30th.
Now, as you can see, my son is a little young to be a participant in the school supply receival. However, he's a good example of myself as an employee with a little child. So if you have the heart to fund this school supply drive, please do so at either service desk from April 15th through the 30th. On behalf of all the employees and their children, we greatly appreciate whatever you can do to help out this great cause. Thank you, Dorothy, for being here today, and thank you for all that you do in your volunteering efforts.
You're very welcome.
Here on Shell Point TV, we've done stories about all sorts of cars, from unique golf carts all the way up to sporty roadsters. But this next one is different. The Chevy Volt is a fully electric car, but it also has a gasoline engine which functions solely to generate extra electricity if your batteries run out of juice. It's also full of cutting-edge technology. You can even monitor the car from your iPad. Our Vice President of Healthcare Services, Steve Meneer, was proud to show off the Chevy Volt.
Well, hi there, I'm Steve Meneer, and Vice President of Healthcare Services here at Shell Point. Been here a little close to 10 years now, so most of the folks who know me and my family all tell me that I am essentially Gadget Boy, which is kind of my nickname. And along with being, Gadget Guy, I'm also pretty much of an early adopter. I like to get stuff when they're new gadgets, new geeky kind of things. So this is my big gadget that I recently got in November of 2013, and this is a 2014 Chevrolet Volt, which is essentially an electric plug-in car. And here's my plug-in slot. So I take a cord at night and during the day and plug it right into a normal 120 electrical outlet, and with a full charge I can drive about 45 miles. An electric battery runs down the center of the car underneath, so I have 2 seats in the front and 2 seats in the back, which allows space then for the battery to be located. This is one of the first electric cars that came out made in the United States. There are a couple others. There's a Nissan Leaf now that was made overseas. It's available. But this car was the first one in the United States before the Tesla. Along with the electric portion of the car, there is an engine. But what's interesting is that the engine doesn't drive the car. The engine simply recharges the battery, so that when my battery is depleted, the engine will run, provides juice to the battery, and the battery then actually drives the wheels. So I don't have what would be a normal transmission of a car. It's essentially an electric transmission. The nice thing about this is that along with just the electric side of it, where I can go the 45 miles, the engine, when it's full with gas, will take me about another 350 miles. So it reduces what many Leaf owners, the Nissan Leaf, as well as the Tesla, it reduces what they have. It's called range anxiety, where, oh my gosh, I can only go, 55 miles or 75 miles, and then I have to find an electrical outlet or a special outlet to charge it up. I don't have that issue. If I do run out of electric power, then it kicks over into the gasoline mode to recharge the battery for me, and I can go a total of about 380 miles on a full tank of gas and a full charge up. So I don't have that issue. Very nice. The car, as I said, gets about 45 miles a gallon. The fun, or 45 miles to a charge. If I drive it on gas, where the gas is charging the battery, it gets about 38 miles to the gallon. The fun part of the car has been that I've taken 3 longer trips since I got it. Other than those longer trips out of town, I've only actually used 7/10 of a gallon of gas since the middle of November for all of my other driving. So it gets great mileage or great kilowattage, however you want to look at it. The cost to charge it is about $1.50 per day. If it's completely gone and I recharge it all up, it's about $1.50, so it's not much. I figured it out. If I look at my Prius, which I have an older Prius, if I look at the cost to fill it and drive it, it's about 1/3 the cost of driving the Prius, which gets 43 miles per gallon. So it saved me a lot of money. It's a fun car. I've done a couple different things with it to kind of fix it up. You have tinted windows so that you can keep the cost of heating and cooling it down, primarily cooling it in Florida. It is very aerodynamic. It has some special air dams in the front which increase the aerodynamic process of airflow over it. It's a lighter car. It doesn't have a spare tire. I get a nice can of Freon goop that if I get a flat tire, it will blow the tire back up and hope that I can get to the nearest gas station. It also has the sound system for it is a Bose sound system, but what they did was they made the speakers with titanium so that they're much lighter speakers. It's interesting, when it rains, I will see my number of miles that I can drive on a charge go down a little bit. And if it gets very cold, you'll see the number of miles that you can drive go down. But as I said earlier, I get 43 to 45 miles on a full charge, so it works real well. I have the opportunity to charge it also during the day here at Shell Point. Scott Moore and I worked out what we thought would be the cost of my charging it based on how far I drive each day. So I've paid Shell Point to use some of that electricity to keep it charged so I can go back and forth and work it out that way. I did something special which I'd never done before. I got a vanity plate, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what to put on the vanity plate. So what I ended up putting was I plug in. And of course you have to put it in shorthand, but most everybody has figured it out when they see it. So the other indulgence that I made was to get the stainless steel wheels, which I absolutely love. The car also has the opportunity to be started and cooled or locked remotely. So if I were in a situation where the car were sitting out in the sun and plugged in somewhere, I could actually start it remotely on my iPad app. It would only use the electricity from the outlet then to cool the car off, so that when I got in I still would have a full charge and be able to drive it the 43 to 45 miles. It has a couple different modes of driving. I have a normal mode, then I have a sport mode, which gives it a lot more pickup, uses a little more electricity, but it gives a lot more pickup. Then there also is a mountain mode, and what that does is when you're driving it, it regenerates electricity back to the battery a little more quickly. It uses the engine off and on to regenerate some electricity so that when you get into the mountains, you're sure you have enough power to go up hills and down hills. Very sporty little car, very efficient, very quick. When I put it in sport mode, it'll get up and go. I don't have any problem with that. There are a number of things on the dash. It has a 7-inch navigation type system that's available for me with a GPS in it, as well as it will link through your iPad, and you can download music from your iPad via Bluetooth. You can also connect to the internet through your iPad and use Siri, which is one of the controllers for using the iPad. You can download music information from Grace Note while you're driving. I can use Pandora while I'm driving. It is, as I said earlier, it's a rolling laptop. I think the salesman was dead on right when he called it that. So it's been a lot of fun. I have absolutely loved it. People oftentimes stop me and want to know about it, and I get the chance to kind of tell them how much fun it really is to drive and how much fun it is to have and how economical it is. Based on the fact of right after I got it, at least two of my friends here went out the next weekend to Chevrolet dealerships and looked at them. Many of you all may be driving Volts or something very much like it. Cadillac now has an electric car. Very much the wave of the future.
All you motoring enthusiasts, take note. Our 2014 Variety Show takes place next week, and the theme is Route 66. Enjoy a musical journey driving from Chicago to Los Angeles at our Route 66 Variety Show, happening next Tuesday, April 29th at 7:15 p.m. at the Village Church. Now, it's time to cover all of today's happenings from Resort Services. Then stay tuned for your menu options and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Leslie Brand, and we're going to go over the activities that we offer here today, April 22nd. We're going to start out this morning to remind you from 7 o'clock this morning till 7 o'clock tonight. There's a special primary election at the Village Church. At 7:15, we have a Health Connections early class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's in the Health Club on the island. At 8 o'clock, we have pickleball. That's a new time at the pickleball court. At 8 o'clock, we have the round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. The stamp ministry will be in the stamp room at 8:15. 8:30 is the time the Ladies Golf Association will be down at the Shell Point Golf Club. At 9 o'clock, we have bocce. That's down at the Woodlands bocce court. 9:15 is the time for open painting down in the art studio. And also at 9:15, we have the shuffleboard players down at the shuffleboard court. 9:30 is the time the match play mixed doubles tennis will be going on at the Woodlands tennis courts. And then 10:15, we have Through the Bible Study Group. That'll be in the Osprey Room on the island. At 10:30, we have the Spring Bouquet Design class. That's in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. You do need to sign up for that. Our Suzy Q boat goes out at 11 o'clock. Today they're going to Rum Runners for lunch. Sign up with the greeters desk at the island. 11:45, we have our last activity. It's Health Connections class, Living Healthy, and that'll be in the Osprey Room on the island. Here is Leslie for the afternoon.
Thank you, Bev. At 12:30, the Mixed Progressive Bridge will meet in the game room. 1:15, Knitters Group in the Osprey Room. The Rollicking Recorderists will meet in the Tarpon Room at 1:15. And lastly at 1:15 is Women's Ministries Prayer in the Choir Room of the Village Church. 1:30, the COPD Support Group will meet in the Oak Room. We have a Health Connections at 1:30, Aqua Pilates Stretch in the Life Quest Aquatic Center. 1:30, Stamp Ministry in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. The Library Book Talk will meet at 2:15 in the Social Center. Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 2 will be at 2:45 in the Health Club. That class is currently full. Thank you for tuning in with us, and we hope you have a great day. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is baked salmon with whole wheat penne primavera. The dinner special is build your own stir fry for $12.95. And the soup of the day is loaded potato. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Tuesday, the special is a mile-high corned beef sandwich with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is the Island Cafe picnic with your choice of hot dogs or hamburgers for $8.25. Dinner specials on the Palm Grill on Tuesday are veal cutlet for $15.95 or sole almondine for $15.95. Menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and welcome to Village Church Connections. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the relocation of our worship services during the time that our sanctuary is being renovated. We really wrestled through this topic as a staff and as leadership of the church, and we finally came to the conclusion that we either had to do one of two things. Either we had to issue hard hats and gas masks for the worship services, or we had to move our services elsewhere. And so obviously we've had to make some adjustments in that regard, and we have changed the location and the times for our worship services beginning on the first Sunday of May, as we look to have that the sanctuary renovated beginning on May 1. And so the worship services will take place in this way. We'll have 2 morning worship services which are identical, one at 9 a.m. and one at 11 a.m., and they'll be held in the Grand Cypress Room in the Woodlands. And then our evening service on Sundays will be held in the Social Center on the island. We'll also have our regular Wednesday evening prayer service, and that will also take place at the Social Center at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday evenings. And so just to repeat, 9 and 11 a.m., 2 identical worship services at the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands, and then on Sunday evening at 6:15 p.m. in the Social Center, and then our Wednesday evening prayer service at 7:15 in the Social Center on the island. Now that'll involve obviously a great deal of adjustments. Our staff is making all kinds of logistical arrangements to make sure that we have wonderful, vibrant worship with an excellent opportunity for people to engage in singing and reading the scriptures and enjoying a message from the Word of God on each and every Sunday. So we're looking forward to that. But obviously there are some adjustments that need to be made. You might be wondering, how would you get to these locations under these circumstances? Well, it's important to know that we've made some plans in all of those areas. First of all, a bus service will be provided with the island court pickup beginning at 8:15 in the morning on Sunday, in which all the courts of the island will be picked up and taken to the Woodlands Commons for that service. And then the return trip will be made at 10:15, and so if folks are wanting to come to the 11 a.m. service on the island, then court pickup will begin shortly after 10:15 for the 11 o'clock service. Also, if people are in the Eagles Preserve or the Springs, the regular on-call bus service is available. You simply need to call, and they'll make sure that you have transportation in plenty of time to get to the services at the Woodlands. And so bus service is available, and I think that will work very, very well. There's also ample parking around the Woodlands Commons, both in front of the 4 buildings there as well as across the street near the tennis courts. And if you're going to drive, it might be a good idea to carpool, but whether you do or not, there certainly is going to be plenty of parking, and so I think that will not be an issue that will prevent anyone from coming to the worship services at the Grand Cypress Room 9 and 11 a.m., those 2 identical services on Sunday mornings. So we're really looking forward to this, because obviously we're in the middle of a major renovation that will greatly change some of the functional and aesthetic dimensions of the village church, and so we're looking forward to that process. We don't know how long that will last. After all, it's a construction project, and one never exactly knows how long those things take, but for the foreseeable future, that will be our schedule, and that's the way we'll have to function. And I'm looking forward to it for a number of reasons. One is, I think it provides us a wonderful opportunity to connect with different people in a different kind of way. Because we're in a different location, we'll rub shoulders with people that we haven't seen before, perhaps because they were on the other side of the sanctuary when we normally were worshiping. And so we'll have an opportunity to greet people that we haven't made connections with before and enjoy one another's company in a significant kind of way. And it's important as well that as the people of God, we're willing and able to continue to worship together and to encourage one another even during a time of transition. So I'm looking forward to this, and our staff is as well. We'll do everything we possibly can do to make sure that the transportation is provided adequately and that everyone has an opportunity to worship together during these summer months or however long the renovation project takes. So thank you for joining us here on Village Church Connections, and even in the midst of the changes of routine that we find this summer during the renovation project, we certainly hope to see you at the Village Church wherever we're worshiping. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as we look back once more at how the LifeQuest Aquatic Center came together over the last 6 months. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, April 22nd. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.